Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Tejano Virtual Events. This session will be on the new self-service banner, a platform to register and view your academic information by Janine Rudnick and Fernando Mares. This session will be recorded so that you may come back to it later if you need, and so others who may have missed out on today's events will be able to come and watch it. Thank you. So now, at this time, please mute your mics for the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with information we will be sharing today. Without further ado, I'll pass it on to our presenter so that we may begin.
Hello, this is Janine Rudnick from the Technology Resource Center. And my colleague Fernando Mares is here also. And today we want to show you all about the self-service banner. This is the way that you register and have all your information for your classes. So without a doubt, let's go take a look and look at our screens. Now yours may be a little bit different, and if things aren't working for you, you might have to go to the campus. That's something that you want to consider. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, and I don't think we need the audio for that, but I'm going to go ahead and share, and then I'll pull up my screen for you. All right, so we are looking at this information. Can everybody see this screen of EPCC? Just let me know if you can't see what I'm talking about.
Yes, I see it.
All right. Now, what I'm looking at here is just our entry page. And what we're going to be doing is clicking on self-service banner. So when you go to epcc.edu, you just click on this menu, and then you're going to see a lot of different things. Self-service banner is what we're going to be talking about today. So let me pull that screen up and show you what that's going to look like. So for you, you are going to be able to see 4 different modules. And I'm going to talk about a couple of them, and Fernando's going to talk about a couple of them. So let's go ahead and go with the general one. Now, this doesn't have any information, or it might have information, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in there. And you'll have to use your ID and your email and your password to sign in. So don't worry about that. That's something that just protects us all. So when we have this profile, you want to add your information and double check it. Tejano Jack sadly doesn't have anything to go by, but we want to go ahead and look, and you might want to add emergency contact, phone numbers, that sort of thing. Now remember, here at EPCC, what we do is look at and use email, our EPCC email, to communicate with you. So make sure you're checking that. That's a whole different topic that we can talk about. This direct deposit is only going to affect you for financial aid purposes, and it's going to affect you if you have scholarships. Apply for those scholarships, by the way, and if you have a job on campus or through EPCC. So this is where you would fill in your bank information. So that is your profile. Now, if we go back, we're looking at a couple of the different things here. The other one is financial aid. Now, because I'm on a student account and I'm not a student, I'm not allowed to view this page, but you will be able to see a lot of different things here. Your financial aid eligibility, any awards that you have, that sort of information. So it's very, very handy. Okay. Now, what we want to go to next is the student registration. So let me show you one thing here that I may or may not have, and you may or may not have, and then I'll tell you where you can get that information. So for the student registration, there is something that might show up that says plan. And to me, that's very important because I like to plan out everything. And let me show you where you can find it if you don't have it here. So I don't have it here, but let me show you where I can get it. I'm going to go back up to my area here and go to Student Services. Now you might have that little bar that says Planner, but sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't. So what I want to do is look under student registration here under student services, which has everything, and go to plan ahead. Okay, from here, I can plan my classes. And at this point, I'm going to hand it back over to Fernando, and he's going to talk about the planning and the registration.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, great. So let me continue with the how to plan and how to register because they're similar. If you know how to do one, then the other one is totally almost the same. The only difference is like on the planning ahead, it's just like saving your classes, but the other one you're submitting the classes so you can then register. So let me share my screen. Let me go to share screen and let me get my web browser up so you guys can see the page. So where's my sharing? Share. Here we go. Share window. Okay, screen one. And now I think it's loading. So now you can see my screen. So let me get. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when you go to a student and registration, like Jenny was saying, you might see some of the links here already. Like plan ahead is already here.
Ah, you had it. I
Here,
didn't.
plan ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the students' permissions because you can also be a student and an employee. So your account will look different from mine. It depends on your permissions. But yeah, see, I have it here, plan ahead. So if you click it on plan ahead, then it's going to ask you to log in. So let me get the login because it was logging, but I guess since it expired the session. So let me log in again. Just give me a sec. We can log in here. So yeah, it will look different on some accounts, but for all students, it will be the same. So now I can select the term, and then it will give me, obviously you can, I don't think it will let you register for summer because it's already going. So let's try it. Let's go to continue right here on summer 2023. And it's going to say like probably not, yeah, see, it
It might show summer because of summer two. Yeah, it might show summer because of summer two classes. Let's go ahead and go to fall though.
Let's go just straight to fall so we don't have any issues. So let's select the fall, continue, and then create a plan. Let's create a plan and you have several plans. It does let you have like 3 of them. So the subjects, once you go to subjects, you can type several subjects. It used to be only one. For instance, let's do a couple of them. Let's do dental. I can type dental, and then I can see the options. So let's do dental assistant. Let's do history, and then see I get history. So you can type several at the same time. And then let's do some English classes. And now I can search. So when I click on the search, now I can see the classes available. And if let me see, when you click on the link, notice like class has a link. And when you click on that link, you can see the details of the class. You can see,
and this is where you want to be a little. Go ahead.
Oh, your sound was just cutting.
It was.
So you can see the syllabus if the instructor already uploaded the syllabus.
And when we have that, let's go ahead and go ahead and close that. And when we go to view sections, there's something that you want to pay attention to over there. It says it doesn't say anything there.
No.
What I want him to do is when we're looking
let's try
at
another one.
classes, yeah, why don't you try just the English maybe?
There we go.
Now that's a lot of classes. So over at the side, you see, over at the left, you see something that says lecture. So it's going to tell you if it's a lecture or lab class. It might be a clinical. It might be something a little bit different, but you want to pay attention to that. A special block probably means that that is connected to another class, but not necessarily so. Okay, then if you look at the view sections, that's what we're at, right? View sections. If you just click on any one of those, click on any one of the sections, and let's look at the details for that. Remember when he showed the information just as the whole course, it had a whole list of things. But here under instructional method, it says face-to-face. And that's what you really want to pay attention to, because there are different methods. Some are hybrid, which means you're going to be in class and online. Some are face-to-face. Some are online only, and some are online synchronous. Now, there are just a few classes that are online synchronous, but let me explain what that is. That means you meet with your instructor at a specific time, let's say from 8:30 to 10 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but in those classes, you meet online face-to-face. So you're going to see the teacher's face when you're doing synchronous online, and you need to go to class at that specific time. So be careful with this. And also when you are registering for classes, you want to make sure that you don't have an online class right after a face-to-face class, or vice versa, or you don't have, so that you're not at home doing your online and then in 10 minutes you have to be at campus. Okay, so you can show them the rest of that. Thank you.
And also on this window, on this dialog box, if you go to fees, because sometimes you want to see if the class has a fee, especially if it's a lab. Computer labs, they have a fee. When you take something related to computers, they always include the lab fee for you to go to the labs and use a computer lab. So you can also check that here under fees. And then also the prerequisites, if you have some of them. Let me see about this. So yes, it does. So you can check ahead, because then when you try to register, it will tell you have a hold. So then you need to go back to the counselor and ask them to remove the hold, and they'll check your transcript to see if you have any prerequisites pending on when you want to register. So let me close this window. And this is really similar to the register. So you can see when it's available right here, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 6 a.m. to 6:50 a.m. But also you can see how many seats are available. And it's something that I like, because you can check how many seats are available, how many places are available. So if there's no more available, then you know that that class is closed. So you won't be able to register when there's no seats available. So this is a column that I like to see, because I can see how many are available. If you're thinking about taking the class and then you're like, well, I still have time. Only 10 students register, so there's still plenty of time. But once you get to the limit to, well, 27 out of 28, so I need to make a decision. So yeah, that's a column that I like to see how many seats are available. Let me also show you how to start adding the classes. So Let's add the first one. You can add it here by clicking the add to the right. And when I do that, notice now I get two windows at the bottom. I get my calendar. So you can see your calendar, your class schedule, and on the right side you see the classes. Now the advantage of having these two windows open is that if you choose a class on the same time, it's going to tell you have a conflict. It's going to show you that, hey, you already have a class during this time, so you cannot have another class during the same time. So that's why you have those two windows at the bottom, so you can check if it's going to have a conflict. So let's try it out. Let me find another class at the same time. 6 a.m. That will conflict during that time. So let's go down. Well, there's no morning classes anymore. But yeah, this is where you can check. Let's do another one. Let's go back to the search. Let's do search again. Let's do another topic so we can have a conflict. Let's do this on purpose. Let's do history. That one might have something on the morning. Search. And let's try this one. Let's see. Okay, we have something on the morning. We do have the same Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's add it. So in this one, once it gets added to your calendar, you see there's a conflict. But see right here, you see both. Let me zoom in. So you see your English and your history at the same time. If you submit this, it will tell you there's a conflict. So you have to remove one of those classes and do a search again because there's conflicts on times. One thing that the calendar does, it will show you the classes on the by day, so you can find out if there's any conflict. Once you have all the classes selected, then you can save the plan. At the bottom, you have save plan. Now let me stop for a minute. Does anyone have any questions on this module? And you can use the chat if you have any questions. Let me check the chat. Any questions in the chat? Okay, nope. So now let me show you how to register. So it's also the same process if you want to register. Let me share my screen. And again, if you have any questions, just type it on the chat. Don't worry. Just if you don't have a microphone, you can use the chat. So going back to my my screen. Okay, here we go. Going back to my registration window. Instead of choosing a plan ahead, let's do register for classes. And it's the same process. You need to select, let's do phone. Again, you can search by subject. Now, if you know the CRM number right here, you can type it. You can go straight to the CRM and add a class using the CRM if you have it available. So if you have it here, you just type it, and then you can add the class, and that's going to get it to your schedule. So you don't need to search for it because you already have the number for the CRM. Let's go back to the find classes. Let's go back to how to register by browsing the classes. Again, you can do the subjects. You can do the course. Now let's do one. Let's do by course instead of the subject. Or you can do an advanced search. If you click the advanced, then you get more filters. If you want to use by day and things like that, you can use advanced. But let's do only by number. Let's do the course number. Let's do the education 13, because that's a really popular class, 1300. So let's search by using the course number. To do that, just press search at the bottom. Let me close this little window. So I'll press search. And now I get all the classes related to 100. And I can see you have when it's available, the times, how many seats, and when you click add, let's do 8 a.m. add. Now you get those two windows at the bottom So you can keep adding classes. So let's go back. Let me search for another one. So let's search again. And let's do now by topic, well, by subject. Let's do the dental. Let's do dental. And again, you can do multiple criteria search. History. And let's press search. And I want to do that because see, I already have a conflict here. If I want to select dental science, right here, I have a conflict because it's going to be at the same time at 8 a.m. in the morning on Mondays. So yeah, there is a conflict. So it won't let me add this class because of the time. So that's why I did it on purpose. I wanted to show you how it looks when you have the same time. Let me just click on the 10 a.m. Once you have all the classes added to your schedule, now you can submit the classes to register. And notice how I have action here. I can click on this drop-down menu, and I can remove a class if I don't need that class, or I can register on the web. So once you have all the classes ready, then you submit those classes to register, because if you don't press the submit, they're not going to appear on your account. So you won't be able to register because you didn't submit the classes. So let's go ahead and click submit. When you do the submit, it's going to register. And see, it did register one class, the other one it didn't because I have a hold. Tejano Jack didn't took his placement test, so he's still pending on that. But I was able to register dental. So that one, it took it, and you can see that it is registered. And I can even remove it if I can drop it from here if I don't need that one anymore. But see, this one I was able to register, and that's how you know that it took the class. Any comments or questions on how to register your classes? Jenny, do you have something to add to the process? Yeah, it's really easy. Do you need to see a counselor? Yes, when you have a cold, you need to see a counselor.
Yeah, you will need to see a counselor. And there are a lot of times when you do need to see a counselor for one reason or the other. Sometimes if you're taking developmental classes, you need to see a counselor, or there may be other reasons. Yeah, let me go back also. If you want to pull yours up, you created a plan. Did you save the plan?
No, it didn't save it.
Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm going to share my screen and give it a try, because there is a place where you can save your plan and then use your plan to register. So it kind of falls into place there. So let me pull that up and show you that. Yeah, it isn't really very hard. So when we are taking this information, I want to make sure that you know that there's nothing to be afraid of. There's something different, but it's not a horrible thing, right? It's like, oh, sometimes we think that it's going to be just terrible because we have all of these things going on, but it's really not. So let me go back. I'm going to go back to the student, and notice I don't have the plan here. Fernando had it once, and then he didn't have it the second time. So hopefully that's something that will get straightened out a little bit. But I'm going to go back to this screen, and I can see student services. That's where I can find that plan if I don't see it elsewhere. So with this one, I'm just going to click here to plan ahead. I'm selecting the term. I'm continuing. So what I want to do is create a new plan. So I want to show you something else. This is ESOL. It's English as a Second Language. You might take this with, if you are needing to learn English to be a little more academic. And I'm just going to search that one. And I'm also going to search, let's say, Learning Framework, I think was the name of the class. Now, that's, I think, Education 1300. Now, if I put a course number here, it's going to, for example, if I have the ESOL course number, it's not going to look for anything here. And that must not be the course number. So let's just take a look at this. And I'm going to say, I know the number is 0327, and I can put the keywords if I want to, but I'm going to search. What I wanted to show you were a couple things. I want to view the sections. And when I take a look at this one, I happen to know that this is one, it's speech communication, but it's for ESL students. I'm just going to click on this one, and you'll notice what I was talking about before. This is online synchronous. It's online synchronous. So pay attention to these things so you know what you're getting into. Also, if you're taking online classes, make sure you have the dedication for it. It's very easy in an online class to say, oh, I don't have time right now, I'll do it later. And then deadlines have passed because you don't have a set time where you're logging in or you're going to class. So you have to be very, very organized to be an online student, even more so than face-to-face, because when you go face-to-face, you see the teacher, everything's fine, you know, it's easier. But it's a little bit more difficult when you are doing it the other way. Okay, as we look at this and we have this class, I'm going to go ahead and add it. So we have dental materials. I've already added it because Fernando and I are the same student. And this is pending, so I'm going to add it here. So I'm not registered yet, but this one is already registered for. So it looks like you can add things later. You can add things later. So now what I want to do is save my plan. And I'm going to say Plan A. And when I save it, it changes to this green that says planned. So I've saved the plan. What is the action? I can delete if I want, but that's the only thing I can do. Now let's go back. And I want to go back to registration. You can just click on those areas. I want to register for classes. Now let's see what happens when I take a look at this and I look at plans. So this was the one I had planned earlier. So when I focus on that, I can add that. It moves it down here, and then I can register. So you can take a look at those plans, label it, and you might want to have, you can have up to 3 versions of it. So you can label it and say, hey, I want to try, you know, Plan A. And then you say, oh, wait a minute, I just got a job. And that's going to interfere with my classes. So maybe you have Plan B, but you can plan 3 of them out or change them, and then just click on it down here and it's ready to go for registration. Then I can submit, right? So I can submit here, and now I have 2 classes. Okay, now I have errors preventing me from registering because I don't have a prerequisite. So those red boxes are very important. So what I need to do is go to testing, go to a counselor, go to the Connect Center. I need to go somewhere where somebody can help me with that information. Okay, so that's a little bit more about registration. Let's just talk about a couple other things when you get to your main area. So here we are. We've talked about the registration and planning. Let's talk about the student services. And again, this is going to be the form here. My information, my accounts, making payments, taxes, all kinds of things here. If you're looking with DegreeWorks, then you want to look at this page also. Okay. Now, as I go here, let's take a look at, I didn't point this out, so let me go back and show that again. You can also look for your final grades here. And that's right up here. Now, Tejano Jack has not taken any classes, so Tejano Jack does not have any grades, but you can look at your final grades. You can also look at your academic transcript. For some jobs, they want an unofficial transcript, and this is where you can get it. So it's very, very helpful. Now, in addition to the information that we talked about with the classes and browsing for classes, registering, and planning ahead, you can also take a look at prepare for registration. So when we do that one, what we want to check is this information. Preparing for registration is going to tell you the status. So you're going to be able to say, if this is red, if there's a hold here, then that means I can't register. Now, I had a hold on a specific class because I didn't have the prerequisites or I hadn't taken the proper test. But other than that, I can take classes. So if there might be other classes that don't have a prerequisite, then I can sign up for those. So your academic status might mean that you're on probation because your grades weren't high enough. So always be watching for those grades. And you want to make sure these are all green before they continue. So Tejano Jack is a freshman. And here is the major, high school graduate. It was quite a while ago that Tejano Jack started, but didn't take any classes. So this goes with the catalog. And the catalog is very important because it's a part of what you are doing to look at your information. So if, again, I go to this prepare to register, I don't want to go to that one. But if I want to go to the catalog, I can look at the specific year I was in, and the catalog will tell me a lot of different things. So what is my subject area? Let's say, let's just go with accounting. And I can add another if I want, and this is browsing courses, but I also want to look through information. So you're going to see this. You might see something that says, look through the catalog, browse the course catalog. And here it does say just browse courses here, but the course catalog is something we haven't really talked about, but it is something that you should be aware of when you enter the EPCC because it will tell you which classes you need to take. It's very important to always follow the schedule of what classes you need to take. Now that isn't really part of this demonstration about registering, but don't register for things you don't need. Right? It costs you time and it costs you money. If you don't need the class and you want to take it, that's fine. But realize that maybe your financial aid money will run out, or maybe it's something that it's going to take time that you don't have. Because our goal is to have you follow the plans and kind of the career goals. So you want to decide what you want to take and then just move on through it without wasting a lot of time. Now, college is a good place to learn a lot of things. So you might want to throw something in there that you're really interested in. Maybe you'll end up changing your major. That's what I did when I was in college, but you still don't want to waste a lot of time, okay? All right, so today we've talked about how to register, things about the self-service banner is what it's called, SSB 9. And you just get to that from the home page. So with that, are there any questions that anyone has? Was there anything you were surprised at? Somebody mentioned earlier that it's pretty easy. All right, Fernando, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yes, actually, yes. There's one more step that I want to show the students.
Okay.
How to check if the classes were submitted successfully. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to check that your classes were submitted. Share my screen. Here we go. When you go back to this main menu, where you have the modules, if you go to student and registration again, and then click on view registration information, and then you need to view by semester. So notice how by default is again Tejano Jack was taking classes on 2019 a long time ago, but you need to update this fall and see the class that I was able to register, the dental, is here. So it means that you're registered and you're ready to start the semester with this class. Really simple to find it again on the registration module. Go to view registration and then switch back to fall. And you can see the classes that were submitted here. But yeah, really simple to navigate, really simple to add classes and submit classes.
You might also be able to see the instructor. We can't see it on our view because we just have a Tejano Jack pass here, but you might be able to see the instructor too, and that is sometimes something that you want to look at. You might have had an instructor in the past that you really liked, and you want to take that instructor again for a class, so you should be able to see that as you register for classes. Those should be listed in your version of the self-service banner. Any comments or questions? Well, we want to thank you for your attention today, and we're going to pass it back to the folks at the Tejano virtual event.
Thank you, Ms. Rudnick. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Sometimes, these mics freeze up on Blackboard. So we would like to invite everyone. Well, first, we'd like to thank our presenters for presenting today. Thank you so much, Mrs. Rudnick and Mr. Ramirez. We appreciate your time and attention to teaching us about self-service banner. It was pretty neat, so thank you very much. So at 3 o'clock today in the same room, we'll be having Happy Math Hour at 3 p.m. We'll be going over exponential and logarithmic functions and properties of logarithms for Math 1314. And Math 1324 will be going over simple compound interest annuities, as well as systems of equations. And then next week in the same room at 1 p.m. for student success, we'll be visited by the El Paso Zoo, and we'll learn more about their conservation ambassador program. And then we'll have Happy Math Hour once again next week at 3 p.m. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.